Hello everyone, and welcome to the Scholarly Article Evaluation demo. In this video, we are going to look at an article from one of our library databases and the various criteria that indicates it is in fact a scholarly source. Keep in mind that scholarly and popular sources are determined by their criteria, not their source type or the place you located them. You can have a popular or scholarly source in many source types, including articles, books, and videos, and they can be located in both the library databases and in the open web via Google or other search engines. To determine if your source is popular or scholarly, we want to instead use the following characteristics: author, audience, content, language, editing, references, publisher, and graphics. For my example, I am using an article that I found in the Academic Search Complete database called Healthy Plant-Based Diets Are Associated with Lower Risk of All-Cause Mortality in U.S. Adults. For a scholarly source, your authors are going to be experts in their field. And we want to know that their expertise is verified with credentials. In the author's field, I have the author's names listed, and then behind their names are numbers. The first two have a little 1, and then the third one has a little 2. That tells me that there is an additional field called author affiliations here at the bottom. Author affiliations tell me where these authors work, and I can therefore look into the type of institution it is and what sort of people they hire. In this case, my first two authors work for the Center for Human Nutrition, Department of International Health, and my third author works for the Department of Epidemiology at Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health. Based on these affiliations, we know that these are expert writers. Only experts would be hired by these institutions. They are also appropriate fields for this topic, which deals both with nutrition and with mortality rates, which affects public health, international health, and is determined via epidemiology. For audience, we would need to look at the content, language, and other things in the actual PDF. In this case, the audience is going to be much more specific. Other experts, professionals in their fields like doctors or government officials, and students who are researching. Not just every average person is going to be interested in this highly detailed, very specific topic. Because of that, the content and the language also change from a popular source. The content here is original research, and it's also very specific. In the methods section, it discusses how they based their analysis on over 11,000 participants from the NHANES 3, which is the survey they used. They also constructed individual indexes and did Cox proportional hazard modeling in order to draw their conclusions. Again, that's proof of original research and very, very specific. It also uses jargon. Jargon is specific language that is only known to people within the field. For example, I don't know what a Cox proportional hazard model is. I would have to look that up in order to fully understand this source. I'm also not super familiar with statistics, so the very in-depth statistical information they give down here in their results is jargon to me. I would need to brush up on how to interpret that information. For editing, most scholarly sources undergo a process called peer review. Peer review means that one or more other experts anonymously review the work to make sure it fits with ethical and scientific guidelines. Not all scholarly sources are peer-reviewed, but journal articles that are scholarly tend to be. The way that we would find that out is actually by looking at the journal. If you're in a database, you can click on the name of the journal and it will bring you to a page of information about that journal. Here, at the very bottom, it says that it is peer-reviewed. We could also double check that information by going to the publisher's website, which is also provided. On this page, we can also find some publisher information. We know that a scholarly source is generally going to be a university or academic press. Under publisher information, it tells us that the publisher is Oxford University Press. That is an academic press. That would be a sign that it is scholarly. For references and graphics, we need again to go back to the PDF. References in this article may look a little bit different than what you're used to seeing. Instead of putting the author's name and page number, they instead put numbers. So for example, in the introduction, there's 1 through 3, 4 through 6, 7, 8, and so forth. That means that at the very bottom, in their works cited, it's given in numerical order. So if there's a particular section I'm interested in, I could see that 1 to 3 are these 3 articles that I could then go look up myself. That highly formal and specific use of citations and a full reference page is a sign that this is scholarly. For graphics, you'll notice that this one is very plain. Mostly black and white text, not a whole lot of color or flashiness. The only images it has are tables of results and analyses. That's very common for a scholarly source. When we're looking at today's assignment, you would list 2 of those characteristics we just discussed and then explain why it indicates it's scholarly. I chose references and content. So my characteristic is references. My explanation is that the article cites several sources and provides a complete works cited list. My second characteristic is content. My explanation to explain why the content shows it's scholarly is that it provides original research and thoroughly explains both methodology and results. I then use specific detail to back up my point. For example, in the methodology section, the article lists the data source, in Haynes 3, how the indexes were constructed to analyze the data, and how and why certain statistical methods, such as Cox proportional hazard models, were used. This kind of detail, while not a direct citation, does indicate that the source content is original research and very specific. I hope that you find this video helpful as you complete today's assignment. If you do have any questions or need further help, please don't hesitate to contact me. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.